Hey, what's up guys? Jake with Legacy 4x4 here again, and today we are back working on my trailer. We are going to be doing the battery wiring on the rear of my trailer. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so as you guys can see behind me or beside me here, I've got the drawer for the battery out. Now, I didn't shoot any footage as I was making the drawer. They're relatively simple. If you watch my Bronco video, these are the same drawer slides, they're just much shorter with the way that I mounted these. So there's some 1x1 and some wood back here that these drawer slides are mounted into, and then we're using a piece of project wood that is 1.5 inch thick for the drawer bottom, for the drawer itself. I put in the drawer slides, put in the drawer, and now for this one it's pretty simple. I'm not going to do any routering and any cutting. This is just going to have a very simple base for the battery components. So back here we're going to have the battery, the solar charger, and the fuse block, as well as the main power cutoff switch that's going to control all the power to this system. I've elected not to do a main circuit breaker on this. No real reason why not, other than just I have the fuse boxes, so the fuses will blow if anything were to happen on an individual circuit, so I've got that for that kind of protection, and I just don't think I need overload protection coming out of the 12 volt battery. So we're going to be doing a very simple setup. We've got our 100 amp hour AGM battery here, and then we've got a main battery cutoff switch. I happen to just have one of these, so we're going to use this one. I'm using a Renogy Wanderer solar charger. These are relatively cheap, like 20-30 bucks I think. We're going to use a Renogy Wanderer solar charger to charge off of the Renogy solar panel that's on the roof. And last, this is a Blue Sea fuse box. I've used these, I actually wired the entire Commando with one of these, a much larger one of these, but one of these as well. These are kind of cool. They are waterproof and watertight, or water resistant, I guess. If I can get this cover off, this cover pops off, and you've got access to a total of 6 fuse slots for 6 independent circuits, which happens to be exactly the number of circuits on this trailer. So we've got this little fuse box that's going to provide the power to the rest of the trailer. So down here we're going to start laying things out. The first thing I got to do is I have to make something to hold the battery into place so it doesn't slide around. In the spirit of all things, I'm going to make it out of scrap metal. So I have a bunch of these pieces, a little 1x1. I'm going to basically drill some holes through this, and then we're going to use this 1x1 to make a short little border that's going to be screwed into the wood around the battery to clamp it into place, and then I'll come up with some kind of a strap solution on the top of it that I'll get to later when I get to that part of the project. So for now, let's go ahead and get these installed and get the battery permanently mounted into place. So for this, I'm going to be drilling a hole all the way through this 1x1, an 1/8 inch hole, or sorry, a 1/4 inch hole, and then I'll drill a 3/8 inch hole in the top of it so that the screw head will fit through it, and it's going to clamp this down. So I'm going to put these in the vise, I'm going to drill some holes through these, and then mount these onto the wood. Let's go ahead and get going. Alright, so I just drilled the holes in these. This is what these look like. You can see there's a 3/8 inch hole on the top, and then a 1/4 inch hole on the bottom. Sorry, these aren't very smooth, but that's what that looks like for the 2 short ones. Now I got 2 long ones that have a 1/3 hole in it. Same thing, 3/8 inch hole, and this is where I'm going to put a nut cert in so I can do a strap and a bolt onto that to hold a strap into place. But that's what we got for that, so I'm going to install these onto the trailer now. Alright, so we have the basic battery setup all done. Let me take you guys off the tripod, I'll show you what this looks like. So far I've not hooked up any of the stuff that's on the trailer. I have only hooked up the battery to the kill switch and the battery to the charger. I still need to run the solar charger wires, I still need to run all of the stuff for the trailer. But let me get you guys off and I'll show you this. Alright, so over here you can see we've got the battery. We have these little metal mounts that we made. They're snug up against the battery so it doesn't shift around. We've got one on each side. For a strap, I had some of these nylon straps. All this stuff, aside from the battery and the fuse block and the charger, is just all reused scrap I had. I had some of these nylon straps. I cut it down to length. I did a nut cert down here and just used an Allen bolt to bolt them into place so that there's a strap on it so this doesn't bounce up at all. You can see it goes back over to this side as well. And you can see we've got our battery all wired in. So we've got a positive and a negative coming from the solar charger, going to the batteries, positive and negative. From the positive side of the battery, we've got it running to our kill switch here, which would then provide power to the fuse block if I were to switch the switch. And then we got our ground going straight to our fuse block here. Relatively simple wiring, not the cleanest job, and I just used this leftover inverter wire I had from a previous project to wire everything together. So that's what that looks like. Unfortunately, I did run out of heat shrink, so I did just use electrical tape on the ends, and then I bolted it down using some of these. I had these little insulated clamps just to hold the wires into place. Now the next thing, I've got my bundle of wires here coming out of the wall for the trailer, and I've got to wire these up to the fuse block here, and then I've got to run the solar wires and wire those up to the solar charger here. So let's get to that. All right, we have power now. So I haven't ran the solar panel charging lights yet, but we have power to the trailer. So through a simple flip of this kill switch back here, it's now on. It's ran through that fuse block that you guys saw earlier, and then it's ran to the trailer. So let me show you guys this. So I got everything all turned on right now, and you can see that our light works. This one is dimmable, or it's got 3 settings for light. I need to wire the fan in still, but up here you can see I have my interior lights. These are also dimmable, or increasable, I should say. And then they've got multiple different color tones as well. So that's all those. There's also those 2 ports over there. Those work. I don't really have a way to show you that they work, but those are the charging ports to charge phones and stuff. Both lights up here work. I'll finish up the wiring for the fan and put the fan case in, and then I've got to run, those are my solar charging wires coming through the roof there. They've got to run down that exterior wall and then through it. And then they run simply back over here into the plus and negative on the charger here. The only thing I don't have that I might include is a battery percentage meter. I don't have one at the moment, but I might buy one and add one onto the system in the future. So that's what that's looking like. All right, so great news. We have power in the trailer. The trailer is fully wired. The only thing I haven't wired up is the fan yet, and I'm out of time today, so I'll wire up the fan tomorrow when I come out here, and I'll put on the fan shroud to cover up all that wire. I've also got to add one more panel on the inside of the trailer. I forgot to add when I was building it. I got excited doing the outside of it, and I forgot to add this one little panel that covers up the wires on the inside of the trailer. So we'll get to that tomorrow when I come back out here. But for now, we have power and we have solar charging on our trailer now. So we've got, to go through the whole system on the roof here, we have a 100 watt flexible solar panel from Renogy. I bought it on Amazon. It's like $100 and some change, I think. And that panel is up on the roof of the trailer, and it will provide a trickle charge type effect to our 100 amp hour battery. Now, when I do the beer math of it, I feel like one 100 amp hour battery is going to be enough. I'm not planning on camping in any places that don't have access to at least your basic amenities. So really the purpose of this battery is to run the fan at night to help circulate air through the trailer, and then to also run the lights when needed and potentially, charge phones and things like that. But I feel like a 100 amp hour battery should be more than enough to make it a couple of days just totally fine on the trailer. Now, I don't have any shore charging. I didn't install any shore chargers to this system like I did on the Bronco, but I am going to carry with me a trickle charger. So if I get somewhere that, I kill the battery and I need to install or I need to hook up to a power source to charge it, I'll just bring a little trickle charger with me that I can plug in and just clamp onto the top of the battery to charge it that way. It's a simpler solution. I already have a trickle charger, and I didn't want to add any additional ports to the outside of the trailer for a shore charger. Also, at the end of the day, truly, if I lose power in the fan, it's not the end of the world. So that's what we were thinking. But anyways, you guys saw earlier, so we've got a 100 amp hour battery here. We have a kill switch that runs the whole trailer. We have the Renogy Wanderer solar charger that's going to charge the battery. And then we have our Blue Seas Systems 6-gang fuse box that is going to be providing the fuse protection to all of the circuits in the trailer. Now, I ran all the circuits just with a 15 amp fuse. I haven't done the math to determine what amperes they should be yet. And I'll go through and do that math later, and I'll swap out the fuses as necessary. But I think 15 amps should be about fine to run the lights and the fan and everything. But we got that all done. The solar panel's installed. The only thing I've left to do, like I said, is wire up the fan. And up here on the roof, I've got to come through and figure out a way to hold down those wires that are coming from the solar panel. I just haven't decided what I want to do yet. I can't decide if I want to drill a hole through the roof to screw these wires into place yet, but I'll get to that later. So for now we got that done. Now I did build this on a full slide out drawer extension. So the whole system can come out and it can come, that way I can service it and fix it if necessary, and I left enough length in these wires to enable that. For the vast majority of the time though, it will be fully seated in the back of the trailer like so. I don't foresee really very many reasons why you should have to pull that out to service anything now that it's done. Honestly, I just bought both drawer slides together and I kind of made it symmetrical back here, but it's totally not necessary. You could have just built this into place in the back of the trailer and not done the drawer slide. It would have saved you 40 bucks on the drawer slide. But with that all finished up, it's easy enough. I put the power switch right at the front, so I can come back here, open down the door that we're going to make eventually, flip over the power switch, and we have power to the trailer. And as you guys saw earlier, it operates all the lights and it will operate the fan. So with that said, that's going to close out this video. So we got two big things done here recently. We knocked out the fenders and we knocked out the battery. Now in the next video, I'm probably going to knock out the cooler slide, which is in the next drawer over here. So that's going to be a little different of a video, but we're going to go through that on the next one. So I've got it started already. I put the drawer slides in, but I need to finish making the mounts for the cooler, and it's a really tight fit on this side. So we're going to be doing some hard work to get this thing to sit properly, hold the full weight of a cooler with all of its ice, and that one needs to slide out pretty frequently. So this is going to be a completely different little style. So I hope you guys like this content. Make sure to leave any comments down below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.